everyone, my name's Ray and today we're going to talk about Genshin Impact, a free-to-play adventure game by miHoYo. You set out across the nations of Teyvat in search of your lost sibling, and tagging along on your journey is a mystical fairy-like creature named Paimon and a whole host of other interesting characters. I've been playing the game since it released last year and I'm still not all that good at it. I made some little mistakes early in the game that are now coming back to haunt me, so I thought I'd share this list so if you're new to the game or thinking about picking it up, you're not going to make those same mistakes that I did. Mark things down on your map so that you can come back to them later. I'm still always forgetting, but if we have a look at my map, you'll see I have a few pickaxes dotted about to mark good mining spots, and I've been using the stars to mark useful materials. These stars over here are for the Valberries that I've been collecting recently, so every few days I can hop on over to these map points and grab them. Over in Liyue, I'm using these little clovers to mark spots that will respawn artifacts. You can find many guides on YouTube on where to find them, and they're very helpful when starting out. So when it comes to keeping your team healthy, although playing the cooking minigame is pretty fun, if you don't yet have a healer or shield character, you'll need to keep as much healing food on hand for battle as possible. So if you're out in the field and your team needs a little TLC, head to one of the Archon statues to heal up. The statue's blessing can be set to automatically heal your team to 100% health just by walking past. I only discovered this when I accidentally chose statue's blessing one time. The statues can do a lot of healing, but they will need to recharge after a while. Refining weapons can wait. Save your Mora instead. I never seem to have enough Mora and I've wasted so much of it by refining weapons as soon as I had any extras. And there's still a bunch of these weapons at level 1 because they've never been used. Your inventory can hold up to 2,000 at a time, so you probably won't need the space for a while. Just save them up until you're ready to use them and use any extras for additional experience. One of the toughest challenges you'll come across in the early stages of the game are the Ruin Guards. Big old machines like to make your life a bit tougher. But never fear, your starter team comes with the perfect unit to take on the challenge. This is where Outrider Amber takes centre stage. Her elemental skill, the Baron Bunny doll, will draw the enemy attacks, leaving your archer a nice clean shot at its weak spot. That big old googly eye. Once it's down, you can go to town with the elemental damage. Then just rinse and repeat. Now you may be wondering, where was my mistake? Well, I have really bad aim, so I just kept trying to whack it with sword users. Not ideal. You don't have to level up everyone at the same time. Almost all of my characters are now level 70 or above, apart from a few works in progress. And pretty much everyone has a really low attack stat, because they either have no artifacts or ones that aren't very good. So make sure not to use all of your resin on the ley lines like I did, and do check out some of those artifact domains. There's lots of helpful guides out there already that will tell you which artifacts work best for which characters and what stats to look out for. And just a side note while we are talking about stats and artifacts, elemental damage is how hard your elemental attacks hit, whereas elemental mastery is the increase in damage caused when two elements react together. Please don't mix them up like I did. Don't forget to make use of the team's elemental resonance. I would always try to keep 4 different elements in my team, which will give an increase to elemental and physical resistance of 15%. Using 2 units with the same element may provide a better boost to your team than those resistances. A double Geo team will also have a damage and resistance buff, where a double Animo team will increase movement speed and reduce cooldowns. My personal favourite is to run 2 Pyro units together because it gives your whole team a 25% attack increase. Wish for characters or weapons that you really want. For this game, you can attain new weapons and characters through something called wishing. Characters and weapons will appear on different banners, so you can wish for a specific character or a specific weapon, or just whatever's available, depending on the banner that you put your wishes to. So when I first started, I put all of my wishes into the standard banner, so by doing that I've missed out on those limited characters. Although as of patch 1.4 we have had 2 of these limited characters re-ran, so there may be more chances for any that I've missed. There's always a trial stage for new 5 stars, so you do get to try them out before you decide if you want to wish for them. You can enjoy the game without any 5-star characters. I know, easy for me to say, yet I rarely run a full team of 5-star characters. If I'm running Diluc as a main damage dealer, I'll often throw in another Pyro unit for the attack buff, and just looking at 4-star Pyro units, you have great options to choose from. Depending on the enemy, you can bring in Xinyan for shields and burst damage, Bennett as a support and healer, Amber for a spot of crowd control, and Zhongling for damage that will last even when she leaves the field. Okay, Pyro needs to chill out a bit with the solid units. But back in the early days, before I ever got my paws on a 5-star unit, my main damage dealer was Kaya. And his first passive talent, Cold-Blooded Strike, saved me when he was my last man standing way more times than I'd like to admit. I will still bring Kaya more often than some of my other 5-star units to a big boss fight. So if you made it all the way here, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing or leaving a little like or a comment if you made any of these same mistakes I did. And if you decide to stick around, I'll see you next time.